What's up, everybody? Or better yet, what it be like, everybody. Once again, you're listening to Body by Loud Vent, and you hit play on Loud Talk from the Get Right spot on the commute to work. And usually I try to figure out what I'm going to say on these things in advance and try to have a plan. I'm working more toward that, but I already did one where it was pretty much freestyle, and I guess part two of it should be pretty much freestyle. And I ended up naming that first one Make It Make Sense. The Quest Begins, part one. So this is part two. I ended up naming it Make It Make Sense because that's what the thing I've been trying to do since I got that slap upside the head from my dad. I've been a thinker, and being a thinker, you want the kind of thinker I am, you want things to make sense, especially if life is requiring certain things from me. Like if life is requiring certain things, that the world is like already saying when I came in it. Because when you come into the world, you come into a world that's already got ideas in it, and those ideas have swayed what reality is from the very beginning. You don't come into a world that starts with you. You come into a world with a mentality stew already in work. It's already in motion. Everything's already in motion. You just come in where you come in, and then you fall in where you may. Adjusting along the way, trying to figure out, what's best for you in this current world. And that's where we all start. So, when I see people complaining about what the world is like, what you complaining about? I mean, I should be one of them, but then I think, what you complaining about is how it was when you came in, and then the only thing you can do is change your aspect of it, change what's around you by being the center point of what you want to see presented in the world. And then, after that, use that, whatever you got going on, and try to make it to where other people see that's what is best for everyone. Like if you're doing something to improve the Earth's situation, then you live in it. That's the only way to, put it in the world. You got to live it. But first you got to think it, then you live it, and then you try to spread it if you think it's good, and let people fall into what this elevation is that you believe should be. So you come into the world, you try to change it for the better through you, as you. And, that's what my goal is, and I think everybody comes into the world wanting to elevate. I think it's built into us. You start one place and you end. If you believe in an ending, you progress through it in every aspect that's enjoyable. I mean, more life, more fun, more enjoyment of everything that life has to offer. Seem like that's the embedded natural goal. I mean, if that ain't your goal, it has to be. I mean, that's why energy is made use of, to me. I wrote a post about it, and I go into why would anything be? Why would anything exist if it needs energy and effort to accomplish? If it takes energy and effort, that means something, whatever can cause it to happen, has to have some desire behind it, or why waste the energy? Why do something you don't want to do? And that goes all the way down to up to the cause of all things, the creator. Why would God do something and it not be satisfying? Why would anything, get made of that which creates everything if he didn't feel, or it, or whatever, how you want to call it, if it didn't feel like it's worth it. Like, I'm going to use my energy to do this. And that's what spirit is. Energy. Consciousness. This word that I just love because it reminds me of what everything is about. It's about the volition of God to make us be here. If it wasn't for that word, volition, which means to me, the desire and the capability. The desire and capability to do what you want. That's your volition. There ain't nothing stopping you. You know, you can do it because you can do it. And under that term, you doing it because you can do it because you want to do it, because you don't have to do it. That's what the volition of the Creator embodies. It ain't got to do nothing it don't want to do. It ain't got to be nothing it don't want to be. So why would something come into expression if it didn't, from the core of whatever creates everything? Why would it be if whatever could control that energy didn't want it to be? Now, I ain't saying that you judge whatever it becomes, but since at the level of where it's at, it ain't up against nobody to tell it it's wrong. So any idea of evil is just a indication of the mind that's thinking about whatever it is they saying. You know, whatever's happening, it's an opinion on something. But in the aspect of creation, you ain't got no opinion. You are of what is made through that which could cause you to be created. So if you inside of the creation, you're a part of the creation. And being inside the creation, our input is whatever we inherit. So that input is the consciousness that we have. So the consciousness that we have is input into the master consciousness. And there goes our reality. We made through what it makes real through what we think. So it's a free flow between the Creator and the minds it creates. Being man, we have more access to consciousness than and intelligence than any other being that we know. But I say all that to say that since we have all these rules and customs and ideas already in the works, when we come into this world, it behooves me to make sense of it so I can get out of life what I want out of it. Like, if I'm required all this, you know, to accomplish certain things that my culture says, then it's got to be worth it. It's got to be worth it. And to me, it's got to make sense. I want stuff, you know, if I got to do something, make it make sense. Make it make sense that why I need to do this, why I need to behave a certain way or go against some shit I might feel like wanting to do just because, you know, it's unacceptable. And then I'm talking about things like being fair and equal. Like, to me, this part about making sense is more important than anything. Like it's most important to me because that's where my, you know, confidence in what I'm doing comes from. Like, I don't have no desire to do stuff that don't seem like it's helping or being productive in what I want to accomplish. Like, and I think most people are that way. If it don't make sense, why am I doing it? And I was brought up in the church, and being brought up in the church, you come into it with the mentality of the people who expose you to it. And when they expose you to it, they expose you through their understanding. So their understanding gets indoctrinated into whoever they trying to break it down to. And the primary person in my life at that time was my father and the people that he associated with and their understanding. But being brought up Christian, that comes with his whole baggage that is already included when they came into it. So you can go back further and further. You get in there, and the way things have been interpreted is built into the system. You know, how things are interpreted are built into the system. So with a person that thinks like me, I'm going to investigate like every aspect of it, all the way back as far as you can go when it comes to thinking about something. Like, I go past the religion. I go past it, all the way back. Just take me to the very beginning of everything, and then let me figure it out from there. Let me see what makes sense from the beginning, from the first idea about being. That's how far I want to go back, so I can make things out on my own. I'm a thinker. I rather think than do most anything. My mind is my own entertainment, you know. So when I think about how I was raised in the church and what the belief system was, I came up during the, you know, fire and brimstone. This is what you got to do. You got to think like this and believe that before you can get to a better place than where you at, which is this better place is heaven. And mainly, more important than that, back then, was to avoid that place you don't want to have to deal with for all eternity. So that was the mentality that, you know, I was raised around. You know, if it's gonna jeopardize your soul, no matter what it said, I don't care what it said. If you supposed to jump on your left foot 3 days out the week, and if you don't, you're going to hell, then you stupid not to be jumping on your left foot. That's the mentality I was raised with my dad. Like, it don't make no sense to jeopardize your soul just because, you know, you don't believe what the hell they talking about. That's how I took it. Like, but to me, like, if I'm supposed to jump on my left foot for the rest of my days, then it need to make sense why. And that's where this quest began for me. Like, the quest to figure out what makes sense to me. And I was helped in that through the works of Thomas Child. He helped me make sense of what they were saying, and to me, you know, it's led me on this quest to reinterpret what they were saying. And that's what Body Allowed and the Get Right movement is fundamentally about. You know, readdressing life from as far as back as you can go, using the truth of metaphysics and re-examining what existing is and what the purpose of life is, and maximizing, most importantly, elevation, maximizing your expression, maximizing what Jesus called what he called it, having abundance, maximizing an abundant life through a better understanding of what and how things really operate. And consciousness has been the focal point in understanding, why things are the way they are and how they could be elevated. Consciousness is the key. And I say that because in looking at what I've learned through my studies and what I learned through what's important in the Bible is you start with Genesis, and in Genesis, this is where it said that Moses, breaks down the beginning of everything, the creation story. And what I found interesting after, getting into metaphysics, that the Bible is interpreted like Moses was telling this actual event in detail of this is what happened. But he was doing more than that. He was setting up things to where future generations can figure out what's important about why he's saying things happen this way. And the Bible's much deeper than the allegory that Moses presented. And people don't understand that. Like the first line of the Bible is a metaphysical truth. So if the first line of the Bible is a metaphysical truth, then that tells me probably everything else when it comes to what his part in it, or whoever wrote it part, is I'm going to tell you some metaphysical truth, and I'm going to do it this way because you should be able to figure it out. And that's my thinking. If he did it and years later you're supposed to still be able to figure out what I'm saying. So he tells this metaphysical truth in the form of the book of that he's attributed to. I think the first 5 is metaphysical truth if you understand and have a mind that's geared toward figuring out things like that. And that's what kind of mind I believe I have. It's like the person that brought it to me was right in line. I was right in line with them. So back to the first line. The first line is what? In the beginning there was. That's a metaphysical truth. It's saying that you can take out beginning, because was counsels beginning. So if in the beginning there was, that means there always was. There always was. And that's a metaphysical truth, because in metaphysics you're thinking about what is existence. So you put existence in that statement and you say in the beginning there was existence. And this existence did what? Whatever exists was already here. And everything after that is about how whatever exists operates. That's what the rest of metaphysics is about. How things work from the standpoint of what already was. Every science is about what already was and how it operates from the standpoint of the observer. But what we don't realize, we are made of the observer and the creator. You part observer, you're all observer, and you're all creator. We are the consciousness contemplating itself once it expresses itself into material, matter. Material form is reality to us. But we are We are the consciousness that creates the reality. We are made of that which causes. And if you're made of that which causes, you're the observer, you're the experimenter, and you are the creator of what you see during the experiment. So that means we make life out of how we think, and that experience is what we call reality. I done made the work, y'all, so I guess this is the end of this one. Got to be a part 3, because I'm, still getting into it. I know it was a ramble and I went all over the place, but I hope someone can get something out of it and come by bodybouloud.com and talk to me about it. Tell me what you don't like, tell me what you like, tell me where I'm right, tell me where I'm wrong. That's what the conversation is. That's what life is. That's what I want to be doing right now. And like I said, this is the beginning of a quest to make it make sense. So this is Make It Make Sense Part 2. And thank you for paying attention. Remember, the only way to get right is to think right. Appreciate everyone, and until later on. Check it later.